BLUELOCK is known for its absurd levels of hating. You got ego hating on teenagers, Rin crashing out over his brother, and Isagi telling someone he's gonna crush his dreams. But no one comes close or even touches Michael Kaiser's throne of hating. If hating was a job, Kaiser would be in debate for GOAT Talk, the Mount Rushmore of hating. It's like this guy was born to hate. Time and time again, he has proved he is a D1 hater, trash talking, rage baiting, doing whatever it takes to resent those who stand in his path. Playground bullies cower in fear at Kaiser. The levels of malice needed to bleed from the mouth plotting on destroying someone's career is all you need to know. This guy made our boy Isagi go through the depths of hell, and that's exactly what we're exploring in this video. The biggest hate crimes Kaiser has pulled in every match and more, and what it took for Isagi to rise above it all. Because the hate didn't stop even outside of the matches. Like when we're first introduced to Bro, the first thing he does is some mad hater movement. Y'all remember day 1 of the NEL, which at this point is like 4 years ago in real time. Isagi is the star player coming out of the U20, joins Bastard Munin, and does the first training course. And this Hunter x Awe exam had all these guys running, trying to complete the training. And what kind of obstacle is this? This the type of obstacle you see in American Ninja Warrior, not training for football. Take a good look at Igaguri 2. He is hanging on for dear life. He's competing like he's in the Squid Games. I don't even want to know what's below this. But while Isagi is Mario jumping around, he sees someone reach the goal already, and it's none other than Kaiser, who at this point we got no clue who he is. However, it's not long till we're introduced to him, as in order to complete the challenge, Isagi weaves some holes and needs to shoot at this target, but as he kicks the ball, we see in the corner of our eye someone in a shooting position. Clear as day though, this guy is not aiming at the target and instead uses his ball to hit Isagi's ball while it's in the air. Look at Isagi's face. He can't even believe what he's seeing. I can't lie though, day 1 Kaiser was genuinely a ball of moving aura. Like, look at this ridiculous panel of the shot. His Thor aura. And him introducing himself, which has been used in like every Kaiser edit. I'ma keep it a buck. These edits be making me a fan of Kaiser, and honestly, I don't even like him that much, but trying to hate on him when they're spamming this fire voice line and these fire edits and this fire tattoo, it's hard, bro. But anyways, Kaiser's introduction was literally a glaze fest on top of some D1 hating. Like seriously, he must have seen Isagi on TV and decided, I'ma do my best to ruin this guy's life. So tallying up the hate crimes, this is a day 1, and we already got 1 on the board for Kaiser. Seriously, by the end of this video, y'all are gonna see how much Kaiser actually hated on Isagi, and it's pure comedy, folks. The next time we get any Kaiser versus Isagi, though, we fast forward to the Barcha game. Bachara scored, Kaiser scored his execution goal, and now the Master Strikers are in alongside Isagi. Immediately, we get Godzilla versus King Kong, aka Lavinho versus Noel Noah, and they're literally bringing the air in. Like, I can't even explain this, to be honest. This might just be a Demon Slayer breathing. In fact, Isagi says it's like a duel between 2 gods, and we see him, Kaiser, and Bachara just watching this duel, but hasty Isagi makes a run to try and help, but ends up Isagi was used by Lavinho to actually get past Noel Noah, and then he scores, so Isagi messed up big time here. Of course, Kaiser sees this like the best opportunity in the world and spawns right behind him to start talking to him. Y'all, this might just be 11 out of 10 rage bait. Bro pats him on his head, calls him a clown, and leans in to say he is not on their level. Isagi slaps his hand away and tries to fight back, saying Kaiser couldn't get in either, but then Kaiser says not couldn't, he didn't, so it was all calculated. Then he explains that him and Bachara just waited till one of them was off their rhythm, and that if Isagi doesn't understand that basic fact, it shows how much of a conceited clown he is, even shooing his hand like a fly. Yeah, this is actually 11 out of 10 rage bait. Look at Isagi's face. They even blacked out the background for him. It's just his angry face saying damn. So yeah, we can add another tally to Kaiser's hate crimes, but still in this match, Isagi gets his first get back because instead of assisting Kaiser, who was open, and calling him a good boy, he tells him to keep running his mouth and passes it to Kunigami, who he knows has a good left shot, and makes a goal, ending the game there. Kaiser respects the clap back. You can say a hater recognizes another hater, and all of a sudden we got a rivalry here, folks. The nerd is sticking up to the jock. And even though this is a video focusing on Kaiser being the Eddie Brock of BLUELOCK, we have to highlight what it took for Isagi to rise to the occasion. Because folks, it really ramps up in the Munchen City game. Dare I say, this is the real hating Kaiser. Before it was just a sneak peek, we now get to see his true hating prowess. It starts when Shigiri scores the first goal of the game, beating both Isagi and Kunigami, even adding that they'll get left behind. And you just know Kaiser's already plotting to add salt to the wound because he walks up to Isagi like an unavoidable NPC Pokemon trainer, blazing Shigiri to the max. I thought the only thing in this guy's heart is malice, so it just adds that all of Kaiser's hate is literally only directed towards Isagi, which makes it all the more funny. Isagi's face just says it all too. I ain't ever seen a bro more sick of anything in his life. Kaiser takes full advantage of the opportunity though and goes to Isagi's ear and basically says, if you ain't like that, I'ma move on to Shigiri. I honestly don't even know what's going on anymore, but he did this all to get under Isagi's skin, which worked. He even saying a damn again. Not even like 5 seconds later, Kaiser looks down on Isagi and it gives him the ball willingly, knowing Isagi hates him. This going on S tier for disrespect because no way he's that confident to give him the ball. Planet Hotline debuts, which is actually nostalgia. Like, we need to see this during the U20 World Cup at least once. Don't permabench my boy. But as Isagi is about to take the shot in front of the goal, Kaiser comes out of nowhere hijacking the pass. Isagi got 1 question mark and 2 exclamation points, so you know bro was caught off guard. And it doesn't stop right there because after Isagi unlocks Metavision, he finds himself right in front of the goal again, and as we all thought Isagi was gonna get his first NEL goal, Kaiser hops in front of him yet again. Isagi still got the damn question mark and 2 exclamation points. I'ma keep it a buck. At this point, we gotta at least expect Kaiser to be one of Munchen's defender. He just did the same thing to you a second ago. We gotta have contingencies. And keep track of these words right here, excuse me, because it's a recurring thing for Kaiser's hate crimes. Isagi gets full grief, so he takes a bad shot, and as it's about to miss, Kunigami scores it instead. This man Isagi is playing evil football, and it's all because of Kaiser. He sees this goal and gets hit with the infinite despair panel. Like, you'd expect something horribly wrong to go for his family, he even gritting his teeth, but no, it's just someone else stealing his goal and Kaiser. You already know Kaiser is coming in for the rage bait as per usual because he tells Isagi he shouldn't have shot and should have just let Kaiser steal it like a good boy. Mind you, Kaiser fully knows Isagi could have made this shot if he didn't become a Munchen's 12th player, so he's just enjoying the show and even says Isagi loves making assists. I'm convinced at this point Kaiser was the founding father of rage bait. Like, I know in his head he thinking this is the funniest, most entertaining thing in the world. Like, seriously, you know how big of a hater you gotta be to stop your teammate's own goal and then say, why didn't you pass? This is some Rigby type of rage bait. And this was enough for Isagi to crash out and say, I will kill you. You know how crazy this is as well? To be honest, if I was getting rage baited by Kaiser this hard, blocking your goal willingly, and then saying you can only make assists, I'd probably have some Benson level crash out too. But still, Kaiser is committed to the bit because he asks Isagi if this is a new way of saying I love you. And y'all, this should just solidify Kaiser in the Hall of Fame for haters, up there with Lex Luthor and Reverse Flash. Towards the end of the game though, we got one more confrontation. The game is about to end. Isagi embarrassed Yuki Miya and he's once again in front of the goal, but it's literally like a looming threat. If Isagi is in front of the goal, you can expect Kaiser to be there because what else is new? He even pulled out the same excuse me line and added a part 2. Bro, we do not need a trilogy for this. You can tell griefing Isagi just makes Kaiser the happiest guy in the world. I mean, look at this smile. He happier than a kid on Christmas. We all know what happens though. Isagi ain't taking no more hate crimes, passes to Yuki Miya, and asks Kaiser how it feels to be the clown of his story. Genuinely, I felt every emotion in my body when I saw this panel. Isagi really fighting back against this D1 hater. We literally had to grind for this view and go through literal hell to fight back. Just in Munchen alone, there was 6 hate crimes from Kaiser, which is nothing short of flabbergasting 6 times. How big of a hater you gotta be to pull off 6 hate crimes in one singular game? Like, even Gary Oak, whose whole life was to terrorize Ash Ketchum, stopped after a few times. But Kaiser is doing it for the love of the game. It goes beyond this. this. It takes coordination, passion, and hard work to achieve these levels of hating. And it doesn't stop there, folks, because before the Ubers, yes, that's right, before even the Ubers game, we see Kaiser watching a full VOD breakdown on Isagi. Nah, are y'all seeing this? 3 separate monitors on Isagi? How are you even focusing? There's 3 of them. He's studying to hate Isagi. Ignoring the 3 absurd monitors on Isagi, Kaiser and Ness talk about how Kaiser likes crushing people, so it's not just an Isagi thing, but Isagi changed it all because he surpassed his expectations. He hits Ness with this unnecessary splash and then goes on to ask why Isagi is challenging his absolute abilities. Even Kaiser thought he broke his spirit countless times, but Isagi keeps getting back up. Bro really think he Captain America or something? So to help Kaiser's objective of improving his brand through the Neo Egoist League, he wants to take down Isagi so his name will resound throughout the world. And then bro starts screaming out loud saying that Isagi is big enough to eat. Saying things I cannot say on YouTube. I got no words because you're telling me Kaiser is unironically yelling at his monitor in his room saying he's gonna kill Isagi? Like, picture walking into the scenario. This is a sign of a psychopath. The Ubers game starts though, and even before the match, Noel tells Kaiser to not get fixated on Isagi. He won't allow any more irrational plays. Like, even the world's #1 is seeing how big of a hater he is. But anyways, we enter the match, and the first interaction we get from them is surprisingly during Kaiser's goal. The build up to this was actually centered around Isagi because most of the time Lorenzo was locking down Kaiser. But Aiku comes out of nowhere with his new metavision, so Isagi passes to Yukimiya, but like the Mystic Man, Lorenzo is on him already. This sets up a perfect opportunity though for Kaiser to come in, and now that Lorenzo is gone, and then he gets jumped by the Uber's defense, so he's forced to take a bicycle kick Kaiser impact that nutmegs Aiku and ricochets into the net. Yo, what the hell actually was that goal? I'm not gonna lie, they kept adding more and more to it. Like, it was already a Kaiser impact bicycle kick, and then on top of that, it nutmegged Aiku. And then on top of that, it ricocheted into the goal. But the reason why this is here on the hating list is because after the goal, Kaiser says it was a fluke because he doesn't want to celebrate a goal made because of Isagi. Man, bro can't be happy about anything relating to Isagi. He pulled off a Subway sandwich type of goal where they kept adding more and more on top of it. And he's saying he can't forgive himself for scoring a goal like that. Honestly, the Ubers game was pretty tame compared to Munchen, where there was literally 6 hate crimes. The last thing we get between the two is Isagi scoring the last goal, and then Kaiser literally falling to his knees screaming at the fact Isagi scored. Even after he gets his club offer from Real, he legit has 0 care in the world for 320 million yen, or the Real offer, which keep in mind was his whole objective of coming to the NEL. Nah. Kaiser is legit so dedicated to hating on Isagi that he switched his goal to destroying Isagi. You can't make this up. So from Ubers, there was like 2 hate crimes, if you can even count that. To be honest, Lorenzo really did mess up Kaiser's plan of hating on Isagi. But now it's time for the grand conclusion of it all, the peak of Kaiser's hating and the peak of Isagi's journey. This is the story of becoming an obstacle and overcoming said obstacles. Folks, it's time for the PXG game. The first encounter we get from Kaiser is Isagi in front of the goal, and you can expect what the hell is gonna happen already. He drops the excuse me line, and what do you know, Kaiser is here again. Part 3! Both Rin and Kaiser are on him at the moment, and both focus solely on plays that would allow them to destroy Isagi. Kaiser is waiting for Isagi to trap so that he can steal it and score. Yet again, this same exact play we saw in Munchen. However, Isagi pulls out his newest weapon to not let Kaiser have a repeat offense. The 2-gun volley, which scores the first goal for Bastard. This has me so hyped. Isagi is starting to overcome this boulder of hate that is Michael Kaiser, sending him into a scream of despair. He quickly realizes Isagi is having an awakening, and you already know a hater like him will never allow for that to happen. He's, quote, here to send Yoichi into despair. The game restarts, and we see Kaiser hijack Corona's cross, and it's time for his secret weapon, the Kaiser Impact Magnus. but he hasn't perfected it yet and ends up sending the ball back to Germany. We then get a flashback of Kaiser's backstory with his deadbeat mom and dad, and not gonna lie, Kaiser had every right to be a villain. It's very understandable that he turned into the world's biggest hater. I would highlight more of his backstory and how ridiculous him taking on a whole police force is, but that's a story for another day, because we have to resume with the beef between him and Isagi. And when I mean resume, I mean quite literally resume, because Kaiser is still talking about his past while Rin kicks the ball away from him. And this prompts Isagi to tell Kaiser this team isn't his, kneel to him. And now Kaiser is the one getting rage baited. The tables have really turned, and now Isagi is trying to get inside Kaiser's head, and it's working. Bro is literally imagining Isagi on the throne. Kaiser then realizes he has to go back to zero, so he has to transcend a hater, which is a character development I don't think anyone expected. Kiora hits a pass, choosing Kaiser, and this time it's perfectly set up for him to hit the Kaiser Impact Magnus and score the second goal for Bastard. I'm not gonna lie, Kaiser hated Isagi so much that it led him to evolve into a new form of non-hating. Like, his development was to stop hating. This might be his greatest feat in his hating career. Evolved hating. He even goes up to Isagi after and says, let's see who scores the last goal. So now we're at the peak of their rivalry. To be honest though, we got itoshi Rin lock for the next few chapters, and there wasn't much Kaiser hating besides a few choice words to Rin. Isagi also makes the realization that he needs to stop hating Kaiser. Everyone has transcended the hate at this point, and we get Kaiser and Isagi teaming up, but still fighting for whoever gets the last goal. So now it's time, folks. The goal that will settle it all, with luck as the deciding factor. The combo of them working together takes Itoshi Rin off guard, and then they start trading passes with each other. D1 hater times D1 hater chemical reaction makes it up the field, but Karasu blocks Isagi, and Charles gets brain damage blocking the Kaiser impact. The original duo that hated each other, Rin and Shido, start their attack, and they make it all the way to the net. But Isagi and Kaiser manage to block Rin, saying that they're the #1 haters. The hate off continues as Rin adapts to Isagi, not falling for his destructive impulses, and somehow intercepts a Kaiser impact pass. So to get their get back, Shido and Rin go for one last battle, but both Kaiser and Isagi read Rin like an open book and realize he'll take the shot himself instead of passing back to Shido. And while colliding with Rin, Kaiser hits this mid-air defense straight out of Jujutsu Kaisen, and the ball eventually ends up to Ness after a few attacks. Everyone on the pitch knows this is the last play, as Ness awakens and passes to a spot to challenge Kaiser. If he is there, then he'll get the ball. We see Kaiser's silhouette, and just as you think this D1 hater is gonna be the winner of this competition, Isagi shapeshifted into Kaiser, and he was the one to receive the pass. Oh my god. Kaiser is now screaming at the top of his lungs as he realizes all his hate crimes, all his rage bait, all the obstacles he put in Isagi's path is about to be surpassed by the Demon King himself. Isagi shoots the ball. We see it go into the goal, crowning a Bastard the winner and becoming the #1 of the Neo Egoist League. Y'all, this is a story of overcoming obstacles. He actually did it. If there is one thing we can take away from this, is that no matter what obstacles you have in life, even if there is people who hate you, do whatever it takes to get in your way. It's to keep pushing on through no matter what. Thank you, Isagi Yoichi. And that, ladies and gentlemen, even after a grand total of 10 hate crimes, concludes the biggest hater of Blue Lock, all the hate crimes he pulled, and how Isagi got through it all. We know there is gonna be more to this rivalry though, as the U20 World Cup is here, Japan and Germany will meet again, and we will see the return of the biggest hater coming with even more vengeance. But anyways, that wraps it up for this video. If y'all enjoyed, make sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with anything Blue Lock. YouTube really thinks you like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. If you made it to the end though, thank you so much for watching. I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one.